Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Prelims High Yielding Series for Prelims 2020, and the topic for this video is Integrated Disease Surveillance Program. This is a very important concept with respect to COVID-19 crisis, so please pay attention. To understand the significance of this topic, understand the present COVID-19 situation. Every minute you have updates on your news channels that so and so number of cases are increasing or so and so number of people are recovering. How do we know this exact statistics? What is the central database that tracks all this? So is this important only in the case of COVID? How about normal diseases? If we have localized spread, what about those kind of diseases which have spread only in particular geographies? To answer all these questions, we have the disease surveillance scheme of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is called the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program. So this is a program that is modeled on the lines of World Health Organization's program. In order to have a wide approach and wide reach, India opted for World Bank assistance. This is one of the most important prelims pointer with respect to Integrated Disease Surveillance Program. So World Bank offers assistance for this program. That is an important point that you have to remember. The next important point that you have to note is there is a decentralized version of this. So at the central level, you have a surveillance unit which coordinates with the various state units, and within the state you have various districts, and each district has a surveillance unit at district level as well. So like I've already told you, the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program was initiated by World Bank. When did it start? It is not an initiative of the Modi government. It was existing way back in 2004 itself. So between 2004 and 2010, this program was funded by World Bank, and later this program was extended till 2012 for 9 other priority states. What are the names of these states? Please try to comment in the comment section below. So most of the World Bank funding was specifically used for setting up the central surveillance unit, because it is the point where you will be requiring a lot of technical help from World Health Organization, and with respect to that, World Bank funding was used. So not just in the National Center for Disease Control as well. We have spoken about 9 identified states by World Bank where this surveillance units were set up. These are the areas with high level of epidemic spreads. Like I've asked you in the previous slide, please comment these 9 identified states in the comment section below. In this whole program, what is the role of World Health Organization? That is the important point for prelims that you have to remember. So originally this project was undertaken to meet the World Health Organization's guidelines for Southeast Asia, because Southeast Asia, including the areas of Indonesia, Malaysia and various other equatorial regions and Bali, Java, all these have many endemic diseases along with the Chinese viruses like SARS, MERS. All this took place in Southeast Asia region itself. Also, India has a high burden of communicable diseases. So in certain belts of the left-wing extremist areas, we still have people dying from malaria, cholera, etc. So in order to handle these particular specific geographies, World Health Organization directed the respective governments in the Southeast Asian region to develop a program that is comprehensive enough to undertake the surveillance programs. So if there is any potential transboundary threat, as seen in the case of China, which tried to withhold information for a long time, the World Health Organization has failed to inform the world that human to human transmission has been occurring on a wide scale in this particular case. So COVID-19 like disasters have a far-fetching impact. In order to avoid such kind of circumstances, World Health Organization created this. So what are the program components? First one is decentralization of the surveillance activities. A person sitting in the head office in New Delhi cannot monitor a disease outbreak if it is happening in a particular district, or more so if it is happening in a village of that district. So it is important to have surveillance unit at district level. You need to have proper manpower to handle these surveillance units at district level, state level and national level, and you have to use information and communication technology, and at the same time you also have to build the public healthcare infrastructure, especially with respect to laboratories, because if you have to know the status of the outbreak, you need to have laboratories at all the levels of governance. If you take the case of COVID-19, before this crisis started, we only had one NIV at Pune. It was the only institute in the initial phases that handled this COVID-19 cases and tests. Now imagine a scenario where the entire country depended on one lab itself. That would have been disastrous for our healthcare system. Luckily, we responded on time and decentralized this testing mechanism as well. So there is a need for intersectoral coordination for zoonotic disease, and this IDSP acts as that platform where people from various relevant stakeholders would be coming onto a single platform and discuss this outbreak of the disease. So if you take a look at the COVID-19 task force, we have finance minister, RBI, we have the health minister, agricultural minister, state chief ministers, etc., who are coming on board giving their suggestions and inputs to handle how to stop the spread of this disease. Similarly, if we talk about how to stop the spread of zoonotic diseases like COVID-19, we need technical expertise from various branches of medicine itself. So this IDSP acts as that platform for intersector coordination. Let us have a look at the question. IDSP is an initiative of Ministry of Health and Family Affairs. That is right. Its main objective is to strengthen or maintain decentralized laboratory for diagnostic tests. This statement is false. It is not the main objective to make laboratories accessible for diagnostic tests. The main objective is to assimilate information with respect to epidemic outbreaks and communicable diseases. So the second statement is false. Answer is one only. Which of the following is not a feature of IDSP? If you take a look at these options, you will find the answer straight away. I want you guys to comment the answer in the comment section below. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching it.